Hello, I'm DerTebbers, and this is your simulator game review of Spin Tires by Uvi. Yes, everybody is now very excited that I'm reviewing Spin Tires. Ever wanted to get stuck in the mud? A lot. Are you a stick in the mud? Do you like torture platformer games? Spin Tires is all about logging, or mud, or trucks, or something. Up front, let's be clear. I do like this game, but I also hate it. The graphics are amazing when you are close, and the mud physics, for lack of a better word to call it, is just stellar. The vehicles deform as they get damaged, and the water looks pretty darn good flowing around your vehicle as it sinks into the river. However, if you look just past your vehicle, at the default setting, the foliage pops into focus too close to your vehicle to look good. The pop-in is just terrible. You can physically see the object, but it's blurry. The same is true of the tracks in the mud. This is actually a bigger issue because it looks like a clear road, but then it suddenly pops into focus and it's actually a rutted mess. You need to plan your line in advance, but you can't because the pop-in is happening. Sure, you can crank it up, but you better be ready for that. At the default setting, I didn't see any problems with performance. But cranked to full, and with all the vehicles crowded around the garage at night with lots of lights, the game started having leg spikes. Now, that is a edge case in the grand scheme of things. That was every single vehicle in the first map on one garage with lights on. But it did make me wonder exactly what's happening when we have all these vehicles together. The lighting performance I found to just be weird. Very weird. During the day, there's no problem. During the day, it's actually really beautiful. Sunset, sunrise, additionally, just very nice looking. But as night falls, things start to go wrong. Your headlights are very strong, which is fine, but there's actually no reason to ever use them. It was always light enough for me to see without ever using my lights. In fact, it took me several hours of gameplay before I discovered I had headlights. I was like, oh, the headlights come on automatically, just like my car. But no, you do have headlights, you just don't ever need them. In addition, the headlights in any surface lights, such as near garages or the roads, cause the game's lighting engine to have a fit. It will alternately make everything outside your vehicle really dark. Sometimes it'll wash out your view. It plays havoc when the headlights and these other light sources conflict with each other. In the end, just drive without headlights. This is the hard part. Gameplay. I have a lot of problems with Spin Tires, but there's also a really good foundation for a great game here as well, and some fun to be had despite the current drawbacks. To say that the camera is bad is like saying lava is slightly warm, or that sitting on a metal bench in sub-zero temperatures without anything on your butt is a wee bit uncomfortable. The camera is so bad that if a 12-year-old came to me and said it was their camera code, I'd slap them with a fish. You can't see right in front of your truck unless you don't want to see where you're going. Just where you've been. That's kind of a problem when you need to see where you're going. You can't see the left without losing sight of the right. And forget if you're trying to navigate off trails across the forest, you'll just ping-pong off trees you can't see because you can't get the camera in a position to actually see where you're going. With the terrible camera position, you end up with no perception of where your truck is located in the space. Now, let's take Scania Truck Driving Simulator. The position of the driver is what made the game possible. Because you were in the cab and the camera was SCS great, you were aware of the size of your truck. You could quickly decide where your truck was in relation to the objects you're trying to avoid. With Spin Tires, you just end up crashing into everything because you can't actually see it. This brings me to the damage model. It seems to be totally random. The more I've played, the more I wonder if there is something underlying it, but I can go airborne in the Jeep and get no damage. But if I hit some mud in first gear with the big 6x6, I get 50 points of damage. What? Additionally, I I know trees are strong. Trees are really strong, and wood itself has great tensile and compressive strength, believe it or not, as long as you're going with the grain. But some of these trees are ridiculous. Okay, so I'm driving the big 6x6. I hit a tree, the tree bends, and then ping pongs back and I get 25 points of damage. What? You kidding me? What? Wait, I should be able to just crush you, tree. It's these skinny little trees. You just crush them. Now, before we continue, let's establish that yes, I know the idea of the game is to drive big trucks through the mud. But there's a limit to the fun in this. So there's also the objective of transporting trees. That's well and good, but who, in their right mind, doesn't do some sort of trail maintenance? Just go cut down some of those trees on the side of the trail and lay them across the mud. Boom! Instant mud bridge. I've had to help rescue a fully loaded cement mixer from loose sand that was buried up to its axles. We did it with one chainsaw, a bunch of 2x4s, and about 4 trees that we cut down. It's very simple, and in the end, this game it's a torture platformer in 3D, and that isn't fun. And for goodness sake, if you know there's going to be water everywhere, put a stupid snorkel on your truck. It's not hard. U.S. Marine 6x6 deuce and a halves come with a snorkel that at least lets you take water up to the hood. And in addition, while we're on the subject of outfitting your trucks properly, put a stupid winch on your trucks. Now, this game says winch. That's not a winch. Somebody looked up winch and was like, oh yeah, that's what that is. No, that's not a winch. What you get in this game is a tow rope. Just a tow rope. What a winch is a powered device that uses the proper winch, uses the engine to power a motor to draw a metal line in, meaning that when you get stuck, you pull out your line, you wrap it around a big heavy tree, and then you winch your own truck out of the problem area. You don't have that here. You don't have that at all. What you do is you get stuck in the mud, then you go get another truck, you bring that truck, you hook the 2 trucks up, and then you hope and pray that it has enough power to pull that truck out of the mud. Basically what you need to do is get the D-Class, which is the big 6x6, or the E-Class, which has a crane on it. Even then, there's been a couple times when I've gotten the E-Class so that it couldn't pull a C-Class truck out. I don't know why, but there you go. While all of this makes Spin Tires more of a 3D torture platformer, it doesn't make it a bad game. So, all of you that already put the angry comments on the video, ha! Spin Tires is a great example of a developer focusing on a single part of the larger whole. The mud and dirt deformation is top-notch. Even though I loathe so much of the game, I keep coming back to it and playing more because there's this unquantifiable essence of a great game. It's just covered in a lot of mud. It's the $30 US asking price that sinks this game. At $15, I would rave about the game, and I could overlook a lot of the warts except for that stupid camera. But at $30, there isn't enough game here, and way too much that is not polished. Some things will be fixed via the modding community, but others I fear are too deeply coded, that stupid camera. If you can live with that, and can find the game for around $15, then it's worth picking up. Otherwise, I'd let this one sink in the mud, and I would hope that Uvi will make enough to make Spin Tires 2 and truly bring out a unique game with a proper in-truck camera so that we can truly enjoy this experience that they are attempting to create. I'm DerTebbers. This has been your simulator game review of Spin Tires by Uvi. Until next time, I'm gonna go rescue another mudbound truck.